Justice Zondo, Michael, good afternoon to you. Asking Moremi why the Estina project was done in such a rush. What were the reasons?
Well, we heard, Jeremy, yesterday from Anna Fourie, the Deputy Director General in the Provincial Treasury, how she was approached on the 15th of June to ask that a payment for 30 million rand be rushed through as they needed that money as quickly as possible. Today we've been given insight into what was going on in the Phumelela local municipalities council when a delegation from Free State Agriculture came to council unannounced. It seemed the mayor at the time knew about it, but the council itself, including the municipal manager, knew nothing about their delegation, who came to give a presentation on this Phumelela integrated dairy project. And it was put before council, it wasn't on the agenda, and it was very quickly approved. So one can understand why all the sense of urgency is coming from, and this is just one of the interactions with the former municipal manager. Listen in.
Chair, what I can recall, and that was also covered in the presentation, is that apparently the department or the delegation from the department prior to that particular meeting of 12 June had apparently had a visit to India on the basis of the agreement that was signed between the government, the Free State government and the government of India, where these particular engagements and everything were done. And the agency was therefore, because remember there was an expectation that there would then be money coming from abroad through paras that will be invested. So I think the agency there was all about having this project run. But Chair, as to why there was such a pressure, I can't. I think that's the little that I can actually confirm.
All right, so where was the pressure coming from then to get the contract agreement in place, Michael?
So there are a number of, let's call them stakeholders here. So the municipal manager testified about people that came to see him, people who were part of a business delegation who were representing stakeholders. The MM says he never knew who these stakeholders were, but amongst those was a man called Ashok Narayan, an Indian national. We have heard testimony earlier that Mr. Narayan was an advisor in the Premier's office, that would be then Premier Ace Magashule. So a man who's ostensibly working in the Premier's office is also part of a business delegation, a private business delegation that's going to be doing business with government itself. And he comes and approaches the MM and slams a contract down in front of him and says, please sign. You have got the amount of time that we are standing in front of you to go through it, list your concerns, and then we want you to sign it. So the MM went through a number of different versions where he simply refused to sign. He said it would be unlawful. And at the time that council approved this project, which was June 2012, the 12th of June 2012, there were 4 other commercial farmers still renting that farm that would become the Estina Dairy project. So, I mean, that just compounds the idea, why was there this rush when there were already people who were supposed to be paying tenants on that land, when eventually we now know that once the land is transferred to the Free State Agriculture Department, they give it to Estina for mahala, 99-year rent-free agreement.
All right, ENCA's Michael Apple, more from you a little bit later on this afternoon.